Good morning. It's Monday and it's time for our daily devotion. We are aiming this week toward a Sunday where we'll look at a passage in Luke according to the Revised Common Lectionary. Today's passage, as I said last Monday, if you watched that, is from the Old Testament, a minor prophet, Hosea. This time, similar to what we read in Amos last week, but in this one we see the different handling of the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom of the 12 tribes of Israel. The group in the north, the 10 of the tribes were called Israel, and the 2 tribes that were in the south, where Jerusalem was called Judah, and we see how they are handled differently. And this is yet another hard look at that terrible time. The song again today is "If the War Goes On." This song was written again for a specific war. I think our wars in the Middle East in the 90s and 2000s, and but it applies. It applies backward and forward, and today, not just to proper wars. I don't mean proper like allowed, but like things that would actually be called, traditional war. But I think strife and terribleness and systemic challenges and power plays and all of that. So we'll sing that again today. Might not be a bad song for us to sing fairly often, to remind us to not forget the terrible things that are still happening amongst us. Okay, here's the text, Hosea 1:2-10. When the Lord began to speak through Hosea, the Lord said to him, "Go marry a promiscuous woman and have children with her, for like an adulterous wife, this land is guilty of unfaithfulness to the Lord." So he married Gomer, daughter of Diblaim, and she conceived and bore him a son. Then the Lord said to Hosea, "Call him Jezreel, because I will soon punish the house of Jehu for the massacre at Jezreel, and I will put an end to the kingdom of Israel. In that day I will break Israel's bow in the valley of Jezreel." Gomer conceived again and gave birth to a daughter. Then the Lord said to Hosea, "Call her Lo-Ruhamah," which means not loved, "for I will no longer show love to Israel, that I should at all forgive them. Yet I will show love to Judah, and I will save them, not by bow, sword, or battle, or by horses or horsemen, but I, the Lord their God, will save them." After she had weaned Lo-Ruhamah, Gomer had another son. Then the Lord said, "Call him Lo-Ami," which means not my people, "for you are not my people, and I am not your God." Oof. Yet the Israelites will be like the sand on the seashore, which cannot be measured or counted. In the place where it was said to them, "You are not my people," they will be called children of the living God. If the war goes on, and the children die of hunger, and the old men weep, for the young men are no more, and the women learn how to dance without a partner, who will keep the score? If the war goes on, and the truth is taken hostage, and new horrors lead to the need to euphemize, when the calls for peace are declared unpatriotic, who'll expose the lies? If the war goes on, and the daily bread is terror, and the voiceless poor take the road as refugees, when a nation's pride destines millions to be homeless, who will heed their pleas? If the war goes on, and the rich increase their fortunes, and the arms sales soar as new weapons are displayed, when a fertile field turns to no man's land tomorrow, who'll approve such trade? If the war goes on, will we close the doors to heaven If the war goes on, will we breach the gates of hell? If the war goes on, will we ever be forgiven? If the war goes on.